when you're playing in the SEC, you're throwing haymakers every week. And it really comes down to just execution, been toughened together, just the mental toughness to withstand whatever's happening and just focus in on doing your job. And then the togetherness piece of just team over me.
Guys, what's going on? We are back here with a very special guest, somebody that is no stranger, to Omaha in the College World Series. This is his fourth appearance. I'm here with Jay Johnson. Jay, what's going on, man?
How you doing? Good to see you, Ian. How you doing?
Good to see you. I'm extremely grateful for the time, man. Looking for you guys to, continue the run, man. Have huge success here. Would love to ask you some questions about the team, man. Kind of have it a little bit lighthearted here. Man, just right off the bat, what makes this team different this year?
I think it's very complete, and we've been very consistent. When you're playing in the SEC, you're throwing haymakers every week, and I feel like we sustained a very high level of play. I feel like we won in a lot of different ways. Great offense early in the season, great pitching, throughout the season, really solid defensively. And what's cool about being here is I just feel like this team really deserves it with the consistency that they played with.
Love it. Love it. Makes a ton of sense. We see, a lot of high energy here in Omaha, man. We see a lot of kind of, I don't want to say superstitions or theatrics, man, but we hear a lot of catchphrases. We hear a lot of slogans to kind of double down on and get the energy up out of the boys. If we were, theoretically, to throw a mic up in the dugout, man, what would we hear from your guys?
They're a lot more creative than me with those types of things, so I wouldn't speak for them. Kind of our motto for the year has been toughened together. Just the mental toughness to withstand whatever's happening and just focus in on doing your job. And then the togetherness piece of just team over me. And these guys have really exemplified that. Guys have embraced roles, pulled for each other. And, it was awesome, winning that super regional, getting back here, because in this day and age, it's hard to get guys to buy into the team concept.
Yeah. It's a packed house here, okay? Man, we're expecting just so many people pouring through these gates. Everybody's a diehard baseball fan. Everybody wants to see good competitive baseball. What is something that the fans don't understand about playing at this level at this stage?
I think really the game, even though you have 26,000 people, full stadium, the stakes are as high as they possibly could be. It really comes down to just execution and your ability to execute your plan, whether that's at the plate, on the mound, in the field. And if you can do that, you can win. I think the game really doesn't change as far as what's required to win. Sometimes people do, in environments like that. And so we work really hard on the mental game to keep our guys just focused on execution.
I love it. There are going to be millions of people tuning in here, a bunch of high school baseball players and the next generation of baseball players hoping to one day be on this stage, man. It would be great for them to be able to play for you one day. Man, what is something that you would say to these guys? If you could speak to every baseball player, every high school baseball player, 30 seconds, what advice would you give them?
I'd say focus on improving and developing. I think a lot of times, the thought gets to be about the end destination or the result or the goal, attaining the goal itself, instead of doing the steps that you need to attain it. And development happens at different times for guys. One of my best players, was here in 23 and didn't play very much on that team, but he stuck with it and persevered through not being a starter, persevered through an injury, and I wouldn't trade him for anybody in this tournament. And so it's because he focused on the right things.
Love that. So as we're wrapping up here, again, we're with Jay Johnson, head coach, LSU. Extremely grateful for your time, man. If you had 3 words to describe this team, go.
Well, I just used 2 of them.
Yeah.
Toughened together and selfless.
Love that.
And it's been a joy to coach that, because, every player that comes to LSU, their goal is to become a Major League Baseball player. And we want to foster that in terms of how we work, how we develop them, and be a training ground for them to achieve that dream. But while they're here, carry on the legacy and tradition of one of the best programs in the history of college baseball and place the needs of the team above their own. And I really believe that's what they've done.
Beautiful, beautiful. I got 2 more questions for you here, Jay. We talked about the high-pressure stakes, man, alluding to it in our interview earlier this year, man. We talk about superstitions a little bit. We talk about guys wanting to be perfect and they feel all this pressure. Now, what is the craziest or funniest superstition that you've seen around hitting or hitting routine or bats or anything like that?
I don't really like pay a whole lot of attention to that. I mean, I'm usually watching so much in the game. Like, I'll be walking to the on deck circle and give any last second advice or something that maybe we picked up that I think can help the hitter out. Probably a better question for all the guys. They definitely have them. They could explain it a lot better than me.
I love that. We're gonna try to find these guys later on, man. We'll get them mic'd up. We'll talk to them. Last question I got for you, Jay. Again, ridiculously grateful for your time, man. What's one moment from this season that you're absolutely never gonna forget?
We had a lot of weather delays this year and finished 2 games at 1:17 a.m. exactly with walk-off wins. A Jared Jones 3-run walk-off home run against Tennessee, and then Ethan Fry a walk-off sacrifice fly against Arkansas, no less, at 1:17 a.m.
Funny.
I have so much respect for both those programs, and to get Friday night wins and our fans. Whose fans would be in the ballpark at 1:17 a.m.
That's right.
The LSU fans were.
Right.
Those are probably the 2 that stand out.
I love that. Again, we're here with behind-the-scenes access with Jay Johnson ahead of his game here tomorrow, man. We're getting it kicked off today. First game's at 1 o'clock. I appreciate you guys being here, Jay, man. I'm so grateful for the time. Thank you again, man.
Thanks, Ian.
Best of luck. Appreciate you guys.